Hello guys, it's Sendou here again. So today what we're gonna do is that we're gonna take a look at the patch that is coming out tomorrow actually. And overall the patch didn't have that many changes, so I'm just gonna focus on one part, and that's the nerfs to Brella, which I feel like were the most significant part of the patch. And just to remind you, if you don't remember what the changes were, the patch notes say, the official English translated patch notes say, they narrowed area painted with a single shot, so basically this area here will be more narrow. Also, they increased in consume for each shot by roughly 10%, so you get a 10% less shots from full tank. So of course both of these changes will work towards making Brella overall less inking weapon, and maybe have to run more inks main if you wanna receive the same amount of shots per minute. But that's not all, because they also said that they will increase damage to the canopy from opponents' blaster type weapons by roughly 38% and charger type weapons by roughly 50%. So basically, when people start shooting at the shield, if they're holding a blaster or a charger, then that's gonna deal more damage. And personally, I don't think those last two changes are too significant, at least not the way I see most Brellas do. Like, they don't really typically tank that many blaster shots or charger shots. Like, yeah, I think in some situations you're gonna have situations where Brella is gonna suddenly like run out of ink. But I think definitely the changes that have to do with its inking capability are the most significant ones. But how this video is structured is that I'm gonna tell you 5 reasons why I believe Brella isn't really actually going anywhere. Like, I don't know if it will be, god tier anymore, but I think it will definitely be like up there with the best weapons in the game. And just to start with the first one, honestly, I don't think the nerfs will affect the painting that much. Like, when you look at the actual patch notes, like, okay, let's compare it to Aerospray nerf. So Aerospray got nerfed pretty heavily back in 1.4, and the patch notes back then listed different changes. Decreased radius of point of shot contact by roughly 10%. Decreased radius of shot ink coverage by roughly 8%. Decreased rate at which shots ink the ground by roughly 13%. So there's like different parts that come together to really, make the nerf hurt Aerospray. But even now, Aerospray is still like insane at turfing, and same as Brella. Brella's still insane at turfing. So if they take 10% off? Like, let's say they make it 20% more narrow, which is probably like way more than what they're actually gonna do. Like, I don't feel like it's gonna be that significant. But even then, Brella would still be like very more than viable weapon actually, in terms of like having a weapon that just inks the ground really well. Because there's nothing quite like Brella in the game right now. And of course, like, when you think about Brella, like, it's not all about just how well it thinks, it's also about how well it wins, like, its 1v1s. Like, a really good Brella player can really utilize the shield, and basically any duel will result in Brella's favor thanks to the shield. And again, this patch doesn't really do much to that, I don't think. Like, you have the blaster and charges dealing a bit more damage, but like, typically when you face shooters, which is pretty common, like 1v1 for you to have, they're not gonna be getting any use from this patch. So yeah, you have blasters, so maybe you have to be a bit more careful around them, but that was maybe like even too strong matchup for Brella, so now it's more like in proportion. But yeah, like, I don't see like its insane combat abilities being really affected by this patch too much. So that would be my second reason. And third reason is, of course, like, with every weapon, besides just having to consider the main weapon, which I already probably have praised a lot on this channel alone, but it's not just about that. Like, think about the kit Sprinkler, and then you have Rain Cloud. Like, think about both of these, how they come together to create a weapon that really like inks like nothing else. Like, you have Sprinkler, which is again the sub weapon you want to have if you want to ink. Then you have Rain Cloud, which again inks the most of all specials. So this kind of kit is something that no other weapon has. And of course this kit won't get affected with the nerfs. And yeah, kit does affect quite a bit on how the actual weapon ends up performing. So I think still a good thing to remember is that, the kit is not going anywhere. And not only that, but if you look at the data mine, the secondary kit to Brella will be Toxic Mist and Splat Bomb Launcher. And yeah, like good to know that, you know, it's not like something that's set in stone. It might change, but mostly the data mines have been correct. And to me, this represents like the future of Brella. Like this weapon is like perfect for me, for Rainmaker. Like Toxic Mist, getting those choke points in hold is just, you know, it's just a perfect sub weapon for me, for like Rainmaker when we're defending and we want to, you know, stop them from pushing. Then yeah, Toxic Mist is really what we want. And Splat Bomb Launcher, again, like something that I really enjoyed with Rapid and Splat Bomb Launcher was that in Rainmaker you could really get like quick pushes where like they push to a certain point and then you pull out the Splat Bomb Launcher and like pop the shield really fast. So I think like having Swirl Brella and Rainmaker is gonna be one of the better choices for that mode specifically, if you want a weapon that thinks and still has a really good kit for the mode. So definitely also have to like keep an eye forward too and just see what the other kit is gonna be like. But if it's that, then that's really gonna affect Brella positively in how often you see it. And then the fifth part is of course like what I keep repeating, is that everything's relative to other things in this game. So okay, I'm a support player and I start thinking like what weapon could I play to support my team. Like Ansap is really popular right now, and I think after the patch it will be even more popular. But it doesn't quite ink the same as Brella. Like it doesn't really reach the same amount of ink per game as Brella. It might be a better weapon overall, but it doesn't really feel quite the same role. And then you really have like Mini, which is kind of like inking the same amounts. But beyond that, there's not that many viable support options. Like Dynamo in this game is not as strong as we all know. And you know, Splasho, again, a bit different thing. Maybe the second kit will be better, but like this is what I'm trying to like get behind here, is that you don't really have that many options even with Brella nerfs. Like it's not gonna be like, okay, Brella got nerfed, so let's just play the second best support weapon, because basically there is no second best right now. There's nothing that comes even close to Brella, at least for me, in terms of something that just thinks, you know, the whole map like really fast. So this would be my 5 reasons why I don't think Brella will actually be, you know, it won't be going anywhere with this patch. You can like ask were the nerfs necessary. I don't know. I don't have the answer to that, but I don't think they did the same thing to Brella that nerfs did to Golden Arrow Spray, for example, back in the day. But yeah, I think that's about what I want to say. So let me know what you think about Brella. Are we gonna see it after the patch, or is it gonna be something that you don't want to see in a team ever, or you're not gonna play yourself? And yeah, that's about it. See you next time. Thanks for watching.